Welcome everyone to the Wood from the Trees podcast. My name is David Cuddy, my fellow producer and helper and just all around great guy with a tight little ass. Alan Clark.
The first thing people are going to ask is, how do you know
that you've tight little arse?
Yeah.
Squeeze into that jeans.
Because you've never seen it.
It was squeak. If I had threw an egg ad, it'd have broke on impact of your ass.
Oh, it's just a pity the majority of your followers are men.
Yeah, there's not that many women, but I'm going to climb them really, really fast. Not them physically, just in numbers, because they're all going to want to hear what I have to say. 100%.
Very good.
100%. This is Gary. Gary is the man that built this podcast room, and he's going to help me along the way.
Tell us a little bit about the podcast room.
Well, Gary, that's your baby. You built the podcast room. I wanted to do a podcast. I've wanted to do my own podcast for ages. I just felt that I couldn't say what I wanted to say or speak freely. I always felt restricted on the social media platforms that I was using. It's actually getting, I don't know what I can say or what I should say. And then when I say stuff, and then...
But is part of that you actually saying the wrong things?
No, it's not. Like sometimes I'm just having a conversation or I'm chatting with the lads, and then at the end of the day I upload stuff, and then I wake up the next morning and something's gone or it's removed, and I cannot remember what I done. And then you like TikTok, I don't even post on that anymore. Like it doesn't matter what you do on that, you seem to be getting removed for stuff. And Instagram's the same. Even if I mention something about needles or injections or COVID, even if it's in a positive way, that would be removed. So there's no point. Right. There's no point. You know, you use social media. It doesn't matter what you do. You're going to get negative comments on everything. So I just wanted something that I thought I'd have a little bit more freedom and I could have long form conversations with people. And I want to give other people the option to have a setup like this. So if I want to do something, I try to do something the best way I can. And I wanted to peg a few pound at it. And sure, Gary's a genius at building stuff. So we built this, and I'm going to do a podcast once a week.
Let's visualize this room for people now that aren't watching the video. So on one wall we have a red brick effect and is that an upcycled door, Gary?
Yeah. So just got a standard door and tarnished it. So we kind of torched it to darken it. And then I just kind of aerosol sprayed it in and then re-hit it with a gas torch, and I gave that distorted look. We're trying to distort, all the look of the place to make it kind of original and old.
Cool. And where did they come from anywhere? Have they got a story, those doors?
That one doesn't. That's the original. But this one here came out of the Westwood Hotel when they were demolishing it. I salvaged the door there.
Oh, cool.
The things that door has seen.
Yeah.
I'd say the writing that joke has seen. Every hotel room has seen it. When you came and looked at this podcast room the very first day, and the first thing you said was the chairs. They're a problem.
Yeah.
And now I know what you mean.
yeah, exactly. So I was saying that they're rocking chairs. So anyone that's nervous, the first thing they're going to do is start rocking. Yeah. So you're rocking like this, and you're like, oh, yeah. In and out. But, no, it's interesting. I wonder how many times that door was knocked on.
I'd say a good few times.
Housekeeping?
It was never knocked on by me.
Housekeeping?
Do you stay in a lot of hotels?
No. I'd like to stay in more hotels.
I was listening to your podcast and you seem like a well-travelled man.
I used to do a good bit of travelling, but no, I love staying in. I studied hotel management, so I get a real kick out of staying in hotels. But it's not like anyone else. Like, I don't stay in them for the riding.
You pick. Come on now.
I stay in them for the experience.
After listening to your podcast now, it's all dating, and you're putting yourself out there now. You want it. You want bad.
Such a smell of want.
No, it's not.
No, I do. I enjoy the experience of staying in a hotel. Do you?
No.
A few weeks ago, you stayed in Adair Manor, and I was laughing because you were wearing the David Cuddy hoodie everywhere, even down for breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something I'd be very self-conscious, kind of saying, geez, I can't wear a hoodie down to breakfast in Adair Manor.
I'd have to wear what I like.
What was that like?
Oh, that was beautiful. Like, that was really nice.
Did you feel like a fish out of water?
I did, kind of. But I always do in a hotel. I never feel at home in a hotel. Now, that was really, really nice. But when you go to hotels, when you're not used to them, you're there, oh, what do I do now? Like, what do you see? Stay in the room. You're after spending all this money. Am I supposed to stay here? Am I supposed to? What do I do?
Did you have a bath?
No.
Did you not?
No, I didn't.
She'd have to have a bath when you're
We
staying
were
on.
busy.
You have to at least run the water.
It was a wedding. We arrived down, and then we were brought up to the hotel room, and then you're looking around the hotel room, and everyone does that when they go in. Oh, look at this, look at that, look at this, and then you're walking around the grounds. You'd never see enough down there. Like it's huge.
Did you take the little shampoos and conditioners home with you? Then?
No.
I bet you Vicky did.
I didn't.
She definitely did.
I didn't. No way. I don't care what I wash myself with.
Come here, I have to ask you, where did it start? Where did the whole David Cuddy thing start? What was the first platform you went on to?
Facebook. So I work in forestry, and I was on a page called Forestry Machine Operators Blog, and every so often they do competitions, and you just do a few videos, and I used to post a few videos, and people on that kind of liked them.
What kind of videos? Like just the machine?
Just funny videos, just messing. But I couldn't, because it was a private page. People were there. Oh, share it. I said, can't. It's not on my page. So I just started my own page, and I just shared an odd funny video. I used to do sketches and stuff, and they became big.
What kind of sketches? Like you were pretending to be a character, was it?
Yeah, just different characters, just different funny characters, and that's how it started. And then it sort of morphed into just me chatting and documenting my day. That's another reason that I started doing this. Like I had to stop doing all my characters, all the sketches. They were just getting blocked the whole time.
Do you use the characters as an outlet?
Yeah, at the start it was just a bit of crack.
Yeah, but is that you kind of portraying how you feel at the moment through a character?
Oh no,
were you like giving it to somebody through the character?
No. It was just taking the piss out of the way we all go on.
Right.
You know, like I had one where it was Irish Bob. I used to call him Irish Bob. And I would do these videos and I laugh at myself. So I would be looking at it, and if I'm crying laughing looking at this, I'd be there, I'm putting this up, this would be great crack. And it was, and they were huge videos, like they were getting 1 million views and stuff on Facebook. And then like this, once you get past a certain amount of followers, it all closes down. Everything closes down, and everything that you do, you're getting in trouble for.
Yeah.
And like I never expected all that. And I didn't realize that media was such a minefield, and I didn't know it was so crooked. And I didn't know that you can't actually have an opinion. And it's really frustrating for me. I find it really frustrating that you in the modern world now, when everyone is supposed to be so educated, that you can't have an opinion and you can't have a view on something. And if the other person doesn't agree with the view, you're demonized for just having a view. It's just a view. It's just, if me and you were having a conversation, we could have a normal conversation. Add 6,000 people to it. It's you're a bigot.
Yeah, it's interesting because we're in social media every day and we kind of see what's happening and we know what's happening. But the people that have a Facebook page or an Instagram page at home and they only have like their friends and family on it, they don't know really what's going on in the background.
No.
And what you mean by that is you had one video that kind of went and got 1 million views, and the second video got 2 million views, and the third video got 10,000 views. Where something happened to your page where they said, right, that's it now. These videos aren't going viral anymore.
Yeah.
And you're not making that up. You're not sitting here, and it's not a case of, well, you know, somebody listening to this might go, well, maybe that video was shit and it didn't get 10,000 views, but it's not. Yeah. There's something going on in the background to stop your page growing and getting the traction that it used to have.
And another thing that I found really, really strange was, you have Instagram now. How long is it since that started just really bouncing?
6 months.
6 months.
6 or 8 months, yeah.
Right. So 6 or 8 months, and it grows really fast. I grew all my pages really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Instagram really quickly, up to 50,000. Then once it got to 50,000, boom, that was it.
I was the same.
And it was because I got 2 or 3 warnings, and for videos that were, and I mean harmless. Like literally harmless. And then you're posting and you're like, I don't think I can post that now. So when you think of something that you just want to entertain someone and it turns into, no, I can't do it. I can't do that now. So all I'm left with is just documenting my day, giving my little opinion on something, and you're having a conversation, and it's just an opinion, and you have these messages to come in. And I swear, if you were the type of person that listened to what people say, you cap yourself.
Yeah.
And I worry about young people. I would hate to be a young man growing up now.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how. Like, what age are you?
37.
37. Are you 37?
Yeah.
I'm 37, and you're
What age are you?
I'm 42, but you're 37 and you have your head well screwed on. You've been working. I've listened to your podcast and I've got to know your kind of story. I've got to know you. So you've always had your head screwed on that you knew what you had to do and what you had to do to get to that stage. But not every person is like that. Not most young men. If you were to listen to young men now, got their heads up their holes, they don't know what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Like it's mental.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I don't look at it like that. I don't look at it like I knew what I had to do. I look at it like a lad that was trying everything up until he was 30 or 35. I hadn't a clue what I wanted to do.
Yeah, but you were trying everything.
Just trying it, yeah.
You were doing. You weren't waiting for stuff to happen to you.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, no, I get that. And come here, you know your DMs that you get. How do you deal with them? Because lately I find it really, really difficult.
Don't look at them. When you get your DMs, you have the people that normally message you. They're in your DMs, and then you have the other side, or they requested their call. Yeah. So you'll see the first line. You can get a fair idea for the first few.
If they start with "Hi Alan," I don't go into them.
Yeah,
because that's usually
it's two things. It's someone telling you that you're a cunt, or it's someone saying hello. You interact and they ask you for something, or it's someone telling you that you're the problem with the world right now. Like I was, and not a lot of things shock me. But I have got messages that blew my mind. Like,
go on, give us an example.
Just over having an opinion or saying something that was clearly a joke. It's obviously, and this is the problem with making videos and people sharing your stuff. I never do something or boost something and want other people to watch, because what happens is a volume of people that don't know you see your video, look at it, make an instant decision. This is a misogynist prick. I hate him.
Yeah.
And would go through the trouble and get so worked up that they would wish death on your family, your kids, your wife, hope they get raped. Like, I mean,
did that happen?
That has happened. Vicious stuff. I did a video one time, total skit. I was even using filters on my face, the difference between an Irishman walking a dog and an Englishman walking a dog. It was a joke. It was a joke, and I was just putting on a posh voice, and this guy was going to find out where I lived. He was going to break into my home, the things he was going to do to my children.
But like, from knowing David Cuddy off the podcast, right, you tell these stories as if they're nothing, you know, and you say, oh, all I did is I put up a video of an Englishman and an Irishman, and then this man was going to kill me. But then when you break it down, right, so I have a story that you were telling me a few months ago where you were in a room full of women.
Yeah.
And it was only women in the room. And you said, well, it's like this, girls. We can only piss with the dicks we have.
We can only piss with... Yeah. I do say...
But you came home to me and you said, that's all I said.
Yeah.
That's all I said was all we could do was piss with the dicks we have.
Now, but here's the thing. I think that because I grew up in a certain way with certain people, I'm the same. The first time I met you, I'm me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to pretend to be anyone. And words are just words, and there has to be intent behind them. So, like, if you're in a room with people, they know you. People know that there's no harm in certain things that you say, but now there's words, like people say the maddest things and there's nothing about it. If you're in a certain, like, you can't say anything now without offending someone.
No, but there's people that just that are going out of their way to look to be offended. How can I be offended today? But is there not a minute, like, do you know when you're sitting in this room and you're surrounded by these beautiful women, and like, does it not flash up in your mind for a second, right, the word piss, dick,
no,
women?
But see the context. You're thinking about the context. So I'm in a room with these women and we're chatting about this thing that we have to do.
Right.
And they're telling me that, oh, we're not going to be able to do that. Well, can you do this? And we can do that. What if we're not able to get this done? I was like, look, we can only piss for the mickey we have. So, and then I breezed on to the next bit, and then you're just looking at the faces. But it's like yesterday, when you're dealing, I'm not used to dealing with the people. Because of what I do now, I opened up doors and opportunities, and you're talking to people that you're not normally used to talking to. I am a forestry man. I grew up, I'm in the cab of a machine since I was 17 years of age, talking to my brothers and people that do the same thing as me. And then all of a sudden you're in a world where people think that something magical happens just because instead of 3 people listening to me, there's 1.8 million. I can't not be me. It's like when I'm asked to do ads. You work in marketing. You're asked to do ads, and you think, oh, this sounds good. This is that's money. This is great. And then there's a list of this stuff that you can't say, and I'm there, can't do it.
Yeah,
I can't do it, and it stops you from making money. And then I'm there. I'm not gonna do that. Then I'll sell my own clothes, and then I can still actually be me. And then the farther you get down the road, I worry about people. So like when you get all these messages from people, and there's a lot of people message me, and you do go into the messages and you get to know them, and you'll see after a while like people that really suffer. And that's been the most positive part of all this for me.
Yeah.
Where you're there and you think your life's hard, and you think your life's stressful. We all do. It's all relative. And then you talk to this person that's peg feeding their 5-year-old, waiting for that child to die, and they get through their lives.
Yeah.
They're getting through their lives the very same as I am. People that actually have problems.
And they're the people that message you, tell you, you're doing mighty, keep it lit.
They're the people.
Honestly.
Yeah. And you listen to this fucking dickhead that's messaging you, been thinking the world's against them, and they've never done anything.
And that's not a reference just pulled out of the air. I often get messages like that.
Yeah.
Where people say like, I'm just sitting outside the ICU, or my daughter is here.
Real
and she's
shit.
terminal.
Yeah.
And what you said or what you done really picked me up today. You know, they're real.
And then young men, when I was younger, when I was there was a stage in my life where I had just met a real shit of everything. I fucked up everything, and I was in a bad place. No, I'm not saying I wasn't depressed and I didn't want to kill myself. It's not anything like that. I was just really, really going through a hard time. I wasn't paying my bills. I was working hard. Everything was falling apart on me. I lost my car. I was driving shit cars to work. I was barely paying my mortgage. Every night I'd go to bed and I'd think, oh, what am I going to do? Who do I ring tomorrow to sort this shit out? And blaming everyone.
Yeah.
It was my fault. And I had to get myself out of that. And the only way you get out of that is realise it is your fucking fault, and you just have to keep going. And you have years where you go, right, this isn't getting any easier. This is really hard. And you stay working all the time. Like I worked 7 days a week. I worked St. Stephen's Day. I just said working. And I used to wish, imagine if I had social media where I wasn't watching these fantastic stories. Everyone you talk to, look at from a gym, or I was fat. I was really fat. Fatter than I am now. Like really, really fat. And you're looking at people on Instagram going, oh look, you just have to make time. You just have to, get it done. Yeah, I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm driving 2 hours to Galway. I'm doing 12, 13 hours of machine. I'm driving home. I'm trying to put my kids to bed, have a relationship with my wife. No, it's not that easy. And you're watching people thinking, oh, wow, am I at? When everything's fake, and everything you see online is fake, and there's no one out there telling young men, look, you have to go through hardship. And the reason you're pissed off and depressed is because you need to take a load on. You need responsibility. You need to do something. Even though it's hard, because everything you do is hard. And the media is lying to everyone about the way life is supposed to be. Life's supposed to be hard. We're lying to young women about the importance of careers and how important that is. Yeah, careers are perfect. Not a lot of good when you have to buy a dog and die alone when you're 40, 50. And all these women that are messaging me, we can't find men. These really nice women. You have to get that as well. These 35, 40-year-old women. Really good looking, careers coming out of their arse, money, lonely. I get that all the time, and these are lovely women.
Yeah.
And it's all and young men, and they capping themselves by the thousands and not a word about it.
And come here, like, where did the realisation come from that you said to yourself, well, I have to pull myself out of this? Like, you just didn't wake up one morning and say, right, that's it, I'm fed up doing this. Did you go and talk to somebody?
No, my wife, Vicky, helped. It all kind of started.
Was there a moment? Is there any kind of moment?
I haven't talked about it too much. It was drugs.
You were doing drugs?
I'd done DMT one night by accident.
DMT?
Yeah.
What's that?
I thought it was hash or something.
Okay.
I was in the Czech Republic.
All right.
And at this time now, I was chasing my tail. My life was a mess. I was always going out with the wrong women. My life was a mess.
Chasing fast cars and fast women.
Fast cars, fast women, not knowing what I wanted to do with my life, not knowing what I was always working forestry, but didn't know if I liked it or not. And
right.
Because I was expecting this perfect life to come to me. But you just have to But yeah, anyway, long story short, I took a drag of this stuff one night, and I swear to God,
I never heard of it.
I didn't know what it was then either, but it blew my mind. It was a horrible experience. It was the most terrifying. I'm not condoning drugs here, by the way. I'm just saying that I took this stuff and I didn't know who I was for 6 months.
6 months?
For 6 months, I was barely hanging on to reality. For 6 months.
What?
I didn't know who I was. I knew who I was, but I literally didn't think that the world I live in now was real. I thought the world I was after going to for what felt like an eternity was the real world. But it never happened to me before, and I didn't know that.
Hang on now a second. You're in the Czech Republic and you take a drag of this DMT.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Never heard of it.
At this time, I didn't know what this was.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I thought it was just hash or.
So then you went off on this trip and you were like, oh, Jesus, man, this is.
I can't even explain it. This is what the experience was like. Just you can imagine that. Do you ever do hash rant?
No, never.
Right, well, just just calms you down, or it speeds up time, or everyone has a different experience with it, right? And I was just expecting that to feel a bit giggly or something.
Yeah.
And then it was like, this world dissolved. And then I was in this place where there was nothing. And then there was this like lizard woman that wrapped herself around me and ripped me apart and started telling me all the things that were wrong with me. Can't explain it. It was the most real thing that I ever experienced.
Right.
And then, like that, it was over. And I was back in this room with these fucking weird cunts in the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Wondering, what the fuck am I doing?
So you'd come down then at this stage? Was it?
Yeah, it was only 15 minutes, but it felt like forever.
Right. But that had an effect on you for 6 months?
Yeah, for 6 months, every so often I'd have these little panic attacks. I wouldn't think I was real. And then I came home from the Czech Republic. Now, this time...
Did you ever go to a doctor about it?
No, I was afraid. Because where I'm from, if anyone thought you'd done puff a fucking hash, to think you're a drug addict.
Yeah.
So, I came home, life's still a mess, and I was talking to a few people, and they were going, oh, lad, that's DMT. I said, what the fuck's that?
Right.
They're going, oh, that's some heavy shit. But you're going to have to do it again. And I was in no fucking way.
Right.
3 more months passed. And I'm like, this isn't... I am a mess. I was having panic attacks in the machine. Like,
did you ever have a panic attack before that?
Never. I didn't even know what... At this time, this is back in 2006. I didn't know what a panic attack was.
Yeah.
And but I'd be driving the machine, and next thing, my heart start beating, and I'd be looking at the crane, and it'd feel like it was real far away, and I'd be like, what? Next thing I'd start thinking, oh fuck, this isn't real. Nothing's real. Panic attack. Like I'd have to get out of the machine, turn it off, sit down, chill the fuck out, and bring myself back a little. And anyway, it took me ages to get another hit of it, and I was terrified. But all these people that had done it had told me, this is what you have to do. So I went to a friend's house, sat down, and they were minding me, and I did it again, and it changed my life. Like it literally changed my life. I was ready for it, and it just took me away, and it was just the most mind-blowing experience. And it was like, I heard someone describe it before. It was like a desktop, and you just delete all the files, and then when you turn it back on, there's just one file that says David's old shit. And then I just moved on. And I knew that all my problems were my own. The only person that was going to sort it was me. I had met Vicky a couple of times, and it never really went to anything. And
that was your fault, obviously.
My fault, yeah.
Didn't have your shit together.
Yeah, and I just knew that she was the woman. I just knew. And when Vicky got with me, like, I had nothing. Like, we were, like...
She was getting together with a bum.
A bum. Like, I had nothing. I went from having 70 grand cars, and I'd lost everything. And we just worked and worked and worked. And when Lily came, that just bumped it up again. It was like, now I've this to mind. And guys, people say that it's love at first sight with kids. It's fear at first sight.
Yeah.
But you're responsible for this thing, and it just makes you work harder and harder. And then I'm realizing, fuck, it's responsibility, it's meaning, it's something other than yourself. and you just have to get up and you just have to go. But there's a slim line between knowing that and not knowing that. And it wasn't drugs that made me realise that. It was the accepting all that responsibility. Stop worrying about yourself. Because men and women are different. And men need meaning, they need responsibility, I think. All I see now is young men that just need something. They need something. They need something to work towards. And everyone now thinks that you don't, that everything's supposed to be easy. You see it all the time. I see it all the time. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I would say men and women are not as different as they used to be. And I'd say they're nearly merging into...
I think they're getting farther and farther apart.
In what sense?
From what I see, women still look for a traditional man.
Right.
But they're not traditional women.
Ooh.
There's not, if you even said to a woman that she was traditional, she'd be offended.
What do you mean traditional? What does that mean?
What would you call traditional?
Not doing the no pants dance until you get married?
No. I'm talking about...
Staying at home wife?
Women now that are career driven,
yeah,
and are really highly educated will look down on a woman that is minding their kids at home.
Oh God.
They would think they have not fulfilled their potential.
I don't know. I think they might. I think they might do that, and they might say it, and they might speak it. But deep down, I'd say they're jealous.
You have a different. You see a different side of women than I do.
I think they're jealous because they're out. There might be a bit of jealousy in it, behind it all, that they don't get that time. I'm not going to work and I'm going to stay at home with my kids.
See, it's fine to do that. If everyone has their paths,
yeah,
but don't look down on someone else's path.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Yeah.
You know, like I know women. I know so many women, and the arguments we'd have.
And I don't know any, so I'm not going to talk.
These are women that have been facilitated by their father that broke their back to keep them in college for 8-9 years to do a course that they never got a job out of. And they would turn around and say men are misogynist pigs and they're useless. And they would have a father like that. And I'm there to go, how is that possible?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, and I don't know. I think we'd need a female in the room to go into that in further detail.
Exactly.
I think there's an awful lot of that with men as well, because I was going through a similar situation in my life where I didn't know what I wanted to do and what I wanted to be, and then I was approached to become a manager of Aldi, but because I had no experience, I had only a bit of hotel management behind me. I had to start at the bottom, which meant sitting on a till, scanning fucking cucumbers and asparagus all day long. And people come in the door and they're like, oh, there's Alan Clark sitting on the till. Did you see Alan Clark's on the till in Aldi? And you had this sense of everyone looking down at you going, this is where you ended up. Do you know? But 6 months later, 8 months later, I was the assistant manager of the store.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's a male-female
No,
thing.
that's a male thing as well. That's an Irish thing.
I think it's definitely an Irish thing.
That's an Irish thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when it comes to females, I'm talking about the difference in roles.
Yeah.
Do you know, like with lads, you'll have that all the time. You'll always have that. You know, look at him, fucking loser. He's shit car.
Yeah.
And that guy with the shit car probably has more money than you'll ever have because he's minding his money.
He has 4 houses. Yeah. He's a landlord.
That's an Irish thing.
Yeah.
That's an Irish thing. But you, when it comes to media, like how do you do it? Like you must have just a way bigger brain than me, because I'm watching all this, and I'm a stupid man. I didn't finish school, and I
didn't finish school.
I know, but how do I get to this age, about 35 to 40 something years of age, only figuring out weird things in the world, like how crooked everything is? We just swallow everything up without questioning. Without questioning. Like, it's crazy. I listen to my kids coming home from school and they're getting prizes for coming in second and third, and just for participating. And I'm there. I'm really uncomfortable with this.
Why? Because
it's not life. That is not life.
What? You're uncomfortable because your kids would get a participation prize?
Yeah. With that softening of them.
But is that not giving them a little bit of drive to do a little bit better next time?
No, it doesn't.
What is it?
It shows them that, look, the person that puts in the effort to really win, it takes it away from them.
Okay.
What was the point?
Yeah.
That-
Well, you see, I don't know, because I'm the fella that didn't take part in anything. I was fat in school and I was bullied and I didn't want to take part in. I'd forget my PE gear and I just wouldn't take part in anything.
So was I. I was the same in school. I had not a good time in school.
Yeah.
I was bullied too. But that doesn't mean that it made me weaker.
But there was no encouragement for us to say, come on, bring in your PE gear.
Yeah.
There'll be a little chocolate bar for you at the end, you little fatso.
But there was different stuff. You were probably got more time at home. Something gave you the drive you had to get a job. Was it the fact that you knew you wouldn't have any money unless you did?
No, what gave me the drive was my dad was a guard and I left school when I was 16 and it was the talk of the village. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guard's son left school. Do you know? Like, and I spoke about this in my own podcast. There was like 3 things growing up. If you ever got pumped at a teenage disco.
What the fuck is that?
It was a scandal. Did you never hear that?
Pumped?
Yeah, where they'd bring you into the hospital and they'd pump you out with this charcoal stuff because you had too much drink. So there was like 3 big scandals when you're growing up. You get pumped after a teenage disco, you left school, or you got pregnant. And I felt like those were the 3 big scandals of a teenager.
Right.
And I when I left school, the principal of the school told me I was a fool and that I'd never be anything without a leaving cert. And that's exactly what he said to me. He said, you'll never be anything without a leaving cert.
Yeah, it's mad.
And then in 5th year, he convinced me to come back and give it a go for a week or 2. And he said, come on back in. And I said, I missed a year. And he says, come on in, you might blah, blah. And I went in and I was there about 2 days. And I said, no, nothing's changed. But that was in my head for about 10 or 15 years. Him in the back of my head, I'd hear him every day saying, you'll never be anything without a leaving cert. You'll never be anything. And then I was like, no, fuck him. But that was dangerous because I was trying to prove him wrong as quick as I could, that I was bypassing all these other steps just to prove this prick wrong that just spurted something out because he's the principal of a school.
But that's healthy when you're a teenager. You know, that gave you the drive then as a teenager. If you were still thinking that now, you'd have psychological problems.
Yeah.
You know,
but I was thinking it up until probably the age of 30, 32.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And like I was in a dark place at some stages thinking, you know, I have to be something.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what the fuck is something? You are something.
That's the thing. I remember being in the machine thinking the same thing. God, is this my life? Is this it? I remember when I was on the lorry, I remember getting up in the morning at 4:30 and walking across the road and tears in my eyes thinking, oh my God, I hate this. But I had to go because I had kids and I had all those things. And now I'm not worried about money as much. I'm making money, I'm paying my bills. And it's still hard. Everything's still hard, nothing changes. And then it gives you a different view on when you see on the media and everyone hates the rich. You know, the poor again, the rich. I don't know who has it better. You know, when you don't have money, you don't have a lot of worries. But the guy that has loads of money, he has a shitloads of worries. Has shitloads of problems. You see your man rocking around, he's poor, you think he has a great life, he probably wants to drive it into a wall.
And you know, you've hit the nail on the head there, because I do a lot of work with country music singers. And I work with one country music singer who's a one-man band, and he's out 7 nights a week gigging. And all he wants to do is be the man with the band and the truck.
Yeah.
And the 5 the 5 musicians behind him. And the man with the truck only wants to be the one-man band.
Yeah.
And the 2 of them want to be each other.
It's all relative.
Yeah.
Life's hard for everyone. Like, everybody has it hard. Nobody has it easy. If you're progressing through life, no matter how slow, it's always hard.
Was there a realization for you, or was there ever a day where you said, I am something, I'm happy now, or I'm a little bit more content? When was that?
Yeah. The kids. I never, and I think most men, when they get older, like me, you want to do less. You just want to be at home. You just want to chill out with the kids.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that it's probably one of the things I'm most proud of about myself is I know now I have enough. If I had nothing else now, I have enough. Once I'm at home at night, and I'm also always chronically aware how fast time passes.
Yeah.
So time is important to me, and I try and take in the kids. And sometimes when I'm having dinner at night and all the kids are there and we're eating, and because I remember how shit everything can be. And don't forget that shit. It's always there, how stressful that is, and the worry of paying bills and of having food and all those things. And you're there, wow, this is I want this moment now. Christmas is so important. When I get the kids to bed at Christmas, there's moments like that where you go, oh God, I never
Christmas
want this to go.
It's definitely a magical time of the year, like when Santa's coming and the elf on the shelf and But when you were on about those mornings you were going to the machine and you were crying.
Yeah.
When did that stop? Did that stop when the kids came along as well, or did it stop before that?
No, you'll always have moments like that. You could have moments like that now.
But what I find interesting is that you hated that job.
I hate it.
And you're still doing the same job.
Yeah,
but now you love it.
Yeah, but I changed my perception of it.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
It's all in my head.
Because most people would say, I need to get out of this job. I hate this job. I need a new job.
I thought about that loads of times. And then I was like, no, I'm good at this. Right? So I made some little decisions in my head. I got a little piece of paper. Right? Am I good at this job? Yes. Can I do it? Yes. Do I have to train to get better? Maybe put a little bit more effort into it. Can I make money at it? Hell yeah. What do I have to do? You give up time at home. You give up time with my kids. I give up time with my wife. And I put effort into it. As much effort as I can. I was driving... and I just changed the way I think about it. So I stopped thinking about the future. And I started thinking day by day. I stopped worrying about my week in the wood. I started getting... Right, I'm going to get to the wood. So I'm going to listen to music on the way down to the machine without thinking about the day. And then I get into the machine. And then audiobooks, podcasts. And I was like, I'm going to learn something. I'm going to get the day out of my head by filling it with stuff. And that's how I just got through my day, right? I have 12 hours here I can drive automatically. And I'm going to fill my head with shit. Listen to music. I had demarcation on my day. Music one end, information on the other. So I was going to work, I was making money, and I was learning something. And that's what I done.
Do you have any goals at the minute?
Yes.
What are they?
I take little goals at a time. So one of them is getting a house built. And the second one is this is what I'm trying to do.
This house, is this going to be your forever house?
Yeah. Yeah.
And where is that at the moment?
It's near my parents' house.
in the plan, in the grand scheme of the goal, where are you at with it?
So percolation's passed.
Okay.
And we're gonna try and build it without mortgage. Try.
What?
I'm gonna try.
Look at us. It's the poor against the rich, he said 5 minutes ago. And we're going to build it without a mortgage.
I'm building this. We sold our house. So we sold my house that I bought in 2005. I bought that and we sold it. And
Did you make a shitload of money?
I made a few pound on it. But we sold it really quick. It was actually really stressful, a scary time.
Why?
Because, we wanted to get a mortgage. And Vicky didn't want to be there anymore. So we said we'd move. And the banks told us, just sell the house and we'll give you a mortgage. No problem.
Okay.
So that sounds good. We'll sell the house. Got a phone call a couple of weeks later. And they literally said, we've good news and we have bad news. So what's the good news? We sold the house. What's the bad news? You have to be out in 2 weeks.
Stop.
I have 3 kids. And we know where to go.
Is this during lockdown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just had to find somewhere. And we couldn't find anywhere. And we found that house. And we were so lucky to find it. And it's in Cameras. And the kids are in school in Cameras. That's where I'm from, by the way. Cameras.
Cameras for Sam.
And we were lucky enough to get that house. Thought for a while that we'd get to buy it. But it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And then when we wanted to buy a site, we went into the bank. I've had money problems before. So remember, I've had money problems. I know how shit gets and how scary that can be. And anyone can get back there in the morning. I could get back there in the morning in a heartbeat. So I said, we want to get a house and we don't want to build a massive house, but the banks wanted to do the site, they wanted to do the house. They started telling us, because we're second time buyers, that we need 20%, and because there's such an overrun on building costs and stuff now, that they wanted a contingency. And deposit wise, they were going to look for nearly our life savings. We thought about it and I was like, I'm not doing it. If I'm going to try, I have a place to live right now. So we'll buy a site and we'll try and build a house bit by bit, even if it takes me 4 or 5 years. I know I can work hard.
Yeah.
So if I have to do it with my bare hands, I have great friends like Gary and Martin, my second best friend, who's now my 8th best friend because he never calls up to my house. But I think that I can get it done. Oh, if you're not a builder.
Oh, I was a carpenter.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Look, there we go. I'm going to get this built, no problem. But even if I can get it up as far as the wall frame,
yeah,
and then get a mortgage,
I'll put on the wall frame for you.
But you know what I mean? If I don't want to be buried in debt my whole life. I'm 42. And look, it might not work. In a year and a half's time, I might just go get a mortgage. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try my best.
Yeah, but you're in a great place at the minute. You have this following. You're selling your merchandise. Everything is going well, and you're at a place that's achievable. But for the majority of people, it's not even achievable to get a mortgage. Never mind build a house without a mortgage.
But it's never been easy for anyone to get a mortgage.
Yeah.
Like I remember people telling me when I was a young lad working in the wood, lads that'd be after getting a mortgage. Remember, I think the interest rates were crazy at the time. Back in the 70s, to get a mortgage was just as hard. You were only on €300 a week. It's never been easy. Yeah. Nothing's ever going to get easier.
Yeah.
So you have to work with what you have.
I have one more question for you. You talk about your money problems a lot, and that it was a turning point in your life. Is there anything that stands out in your mind? Is there any moment or any particular item you had or you didn't have that was like the pinnacle of your money problems? Is there anything where you look back at and you say, Jesus,
I shouldn't have bought that?
Or do you remember I had that? Or do you remember I had to do that because I had no money?
That I had to get rid of? Yeah.
What was the lowest point of having the money problems? No, of having no money.
What would have been? There's a couple. So we used to go out all the time, me and my friends. And it's only now I look back and I used to think I only went out because I didn't want to miss anything, or I wanted to get a woman, or something. Everyone else was going out, so you go out. And we dump money. We just get rid of money. There was no end to it. And we...
Like doing rounds and stuff and just drinking shots. And
go out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You'd be out all the time.
Right.
You'd buy... If your clothes were dirty, you'd go buy new clothes. It was just ridiculous. And I remember when all that went to fuck. And I remember we'd go to soccer once a week, maybe twice a week, over in Portlaoise. We'd all play soccer. And it was €5. And I remember nights I couldn't go. I had to lie, and lads not telling other lads what their problems were. I wouldn't tell my friends. If my friends knew I had them problems, they'd help me, no problem. But I had done so many stupid things. It's like I have friends that tell me, you're not going to pay 65, 70 grand for a fucking car, are you? And I'm like, yeah, of course I am. It's fucking, I want one.
Yeah.
I look fucking cool with it. And then you're going, hey, can I have €5 for soccer? Your brain wouldn't let you do that. And then when I needed to get to work one time, I bought pink. Remember, I had 530 BMW. I had sexy cars. And I got to a stage where I had to have this little 800cc pink Opel Agila going to work. And I remember pulling up in Portumna one morning and I was filling it with petrol. And these lads were in a van. They were like, hey, nice fucking car, loser, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I was there, oh yeah. Let's see.
And what were they driving?
They were in a transit or whatever. Look, when I was young, I'd probably laugh at someone in a pink car as well going to work at 4 o'clock in the morning. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing this other side to you, and the podcast is only going to go from strength to strength because it's letting you.
You're so nice.
It's giving you that outlet.
You're not just good looking. He's awesome.
No,
nice.
I'm not good looking at all. That's why I hide behind the microphone all the time.
Stop now. Sorry.
Yeah. But are you excited about it over the next few weeks?
I've been looking forward to this, and I'm also looking forward to doing something new. And the fact that I don't know what I'm doing, I have you, and you're going to help me, and Gary's after helping me build the room, but I'm excited about learning how to do it, and I want to talk to people. I want to explain to people that life is complicated, and I want people to be able to get their stories out there.
And what's really nice about podcasts is that you're not under any pressure to get so many views or streams, or
it's just chatting.
Whoever wants to listen to it can listen to it. Yeah. There it is. It's there for you to listen to. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it, and if you don't, you don't. And it's not going to be for everyone.
And there's so many people out there that have interesting stories, and they're just normal people. It's not famous Jack wanting to sell a book and come on and talk about his life.
Yeah,
it's the most interesting people.
And are you going to be talking to some of these people?
I'm hoping to. I'm hoping to. I have a few people coming on. I have Shane Flynn is going to come on once a month. And when it comes to fitness and mental health, when I watch his stories, he's the one that I always connected with the most, and I've got to know him, and he's going to come on. He mightn't tell everyone what they want to hear, but it's definitely what they need to hear. He's a genius when it comes to stuff like that. And I'm hoping to get, you're going to come on and help me.
I'm already here. I'm on.
Walk me
I'm
through.
on.
Well, hopefully in a more chatty, kind of a laugh sort of a way. As long as you don't bring the dog.
I know I've already said final question, but here's the very last one, and I'm going to talk to Gary then.
Yeah.
How would David Cuddy describe himself to somebody that's never seen him or heard him?
I am a 42-year-old, second generation logger, father, brother, husband, and I just want to get through life and figure it out. That's all.
What type of person are you?
Well, that's a good question. Complicated.
Complicated?
Yeah.
Why?
Complicated. Because I'm always trying to figure out, I get all freaked out when it comes to consciousness. There's probably a story for another time.
Like you never switch off?
Not that you can never switch off, but there's always something in the back of my mind. When I was younger, I used to not believe in God. I used to think all that stuff was shit.
Yeah.
And then the more you learn and the more you read and the more you figure out about consciousness and quantum physics and all those things, and then when you start to do a little bit of meditation and you do the odd psychedelic, you go, okay, maybe we don't really know what's going on here. Maybe there's something happening. And it's like, we all know where the control center is, but we don't know where the commander is. And I'm always wondering, like, is this me or is this something I'm doing?
I have no idea what you're after saying.
There you go.
Let's pick that up.
That's why I think I'm complicated.
Yeah, that's for episode 4 of the podcast. Talk to Gary there about the room. What's the story with this room? Is it going to be available for other people to come into, or what's the crack?
When I decided I wanted to do a podcast, me and Gary were chatting one morning. Gary's a good friend of mine, and we worked together up in the forest for a while, and then he used to stay in my house, and we were talking about building a podcast room. And when we said we were going to do it, we were going to do it right. And then when we went to look, because we went looking to rent out a space, and we wanted something that we could grow and do YouTube channels and have a channel and have audio, visual, everything. And we said, fuck it, we'd build our own and make it as top class as we could. And hopefully if people wanted to rent it out and have a real nice space. What do you think of it?
I honestly think it's the coolest podcast studio I've ever been in. And I'm not just saying that. It's top class, you know. Where did the timber come from the side, Gary?
So yeah, a friend of mine.
Keep this close to your face now, because I picked the wrong seats.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Yeah. No.
Make love to it.
A friend of mine, Jerry, just bought a big milling saw. So we got the logs in, and he milled all the logs for me for doing this live edge timber.
When you say milled now, like, what does that mean? Just cut it up into slices?
Cut the planks, yeah.
Right.
Because it had to be real. Like you couldn't wallpaper this in, you know.
And do you come from a timber background?
Yeah. When I left school, I went off into the buildings and went away to the States working. So
you went over to America working?
I just did the leaving cert and headed off.
Really? Feckin' hell, there's a podcast on that as well.
Yeah,
armed with a sleeping bag and a phone number.
And a Cadillac.
And a can of Coke.
And a Cadillac.
What kind of timber is it?
So there's larch and spruce.
Class.
So, but no, it came out well, and I suppose the way the cladding is set up, say it's overlapping and stuff, it's going to diffuse the sound a good bit as well.
Yeah.
So,
it's so unique.
I'm all about sound diffusing.
Yeah, myself and David have this thing about big words, don't we?
Gary sends me big words. Get that into a story. I'll try.
I don't always like to sound intelligent, but sometimes I just throw in photosynthesis there into a sentence. You know, it's top class. It's brilliant. So how can people then come in and book it, or what's the story?
Cabin 111.
Cabin 111, yeah. So we're just going to get that up and running and get a booking system in, and we'll take it from there. So we're just going to start small, be a slow burn, get it up and running, But yeah,
anyone that wants to come in, like, because it's such a good marketing tool for businesses as well. So, like, you know, if you were running if you're bringing out a organic seaweed moisturizer and you want to, you know, talk to other people about it and try it out, and you know, podcasts are a great way.
Did organic moisturizer, seaweed moisturizer come in straight away? Why was that the first thing that came to your mind?
Because I was talking to somebody about it on the way up in the car.
Matter.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know what's going to come out of your mouth.
And I was talking to them about podcasts, and I was just saying that, like, it's a good way to. Podcasts are a great way for people to build their brand and to get that trust with people, you know. And especially products like that. Everything's a gimmick now. Do you know?
I watch American politics now because I find it so interesting.
Would you ever go into Irish politics?
No, because they're so crooked.
Yeah, but do you not have the opportunity to go in and uncrooked them?
No. If you have a 4-year cycle where people are trying for 4 years to get in, and then when they get in, they're trying to stay in, and everyone's trying to appease the masses.
Yeah, but that's where politics is going to be left behind, because they're not tapping into influencers or social media. Yeah, fair enough. They buy ads in the run up to a marketing campaign. There was a politician up at us, and he was on Instagram every day of the week. I'm here now, and I'm outside Mary's house, and Mary has a problem with her water, and I'm going to sort that. The second he got elected, he hasn't used his Instagram since.
Yeah,
but he'll be all over it.
It's too difficult for him. Once they're in politics, they have so many people. You can't do this.
But what I'm saying is, somebody like David Cuddy that has a good following that could potentially get things done.
Couldn't.
You'd get in quicker.
No. I can't even get stuff done now.
That's because you're nobody.
I'm nobody. Everyone's a nobody.
Yeah.
Our government is supposed to do that. But look at the control we're giving to our government now.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying to you. Would you not go in there and upscuttle things?
No, because everyone hates you. You might.
No, I'd never be able to do that.
50% of the demographic wouldn't vote for me anyway, because they'd have a vagina. They'd hate me.
Yeah, I doubt that's true.
Most of them.
Right. Can people contact you during the week? How do they contact you?
Instagram page is The Wood from the Trees. Facebook page is The Wood from the Trees. That's podcast related.
What are you looking for? What are you looking to achieve over the next few months? Are you looking for people's stories? Are you looking for emails? What do you want to do?
So if someone has a story they want to tell, if they have an opinion they want to give without being shouted down, if they want to promote an interest in business or something, or an idea, just get on to me.
You're going to be inundated with people saying, can I have a plug for this and can I have a plug for that?
Well, you'll always have that, but if it's something that's plugging something that's going to actually help people, I have no problem.
Right. You're not going to open up a 10-minute segment for MUAs.
No, what's that?
Makeup artists.
There'll be no makeup artists. There'll be no makeup artists. None of that. No.
Did you not notice that during lockdown everyone put MUA at the end of their Instagram page?
I never noticed that.
There must have been a YouTube tutorial or something.
No, I never noticed that.
Did you not?
No.
All right.
Because
must be a Mayo thing then.
I started a campaign during the lockdown called I'm Essential. And
yeah.
Some people thought it was funny. Other people thought it was fucking terrible.
Why?
You're not essential. Cutting down trees, killing everything. Murderer.
Yeah. Yet they're using wood and paper all day, every day.
Paper, the whole lot. Yeah. There you get that lot.
Sick in your hole.
Yeah, man.
Right. Sign out there. Let us hear your sign out.
I love you all. And I'll see you next time.